Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 6 of Pando Outfalls, a City Skylines playthrough. I am your host, Target, and today we're building this massive 4-way interchange that connects the two main highways of this map. What you're looking at right now is the result of 6 to 7 hours of planning and building. My idea when I started thinking about this build was to have a core highway infrastructure right in the heart of the city, with elevated on and off ramps that would cut through the rows of buildings and skyscrapers and through the skyline that we are going to shape during the course of the following episodes. That's also why I've built it near the river, because I am planning to have the highest density and tallest buildings near the shore and the low residential housing and suburbs near the mountains. For this project, I have studied several similar interchanges that have the same idea I'm pursuing, such as, for example, the Makassan motorway interchange at Bangkok in Thailand. This was without a doubt the biggest source of inspiration for this project, and this is where I got the idea from. It is really comforting to see the elevated roads flow through the middle of the city and cutting through the groups of buildings, and so I have decided that I wanted to build something similar in my city. This will be, of course, a very long project that will take several episodes to finish, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Good things take time and effort to achieve, and making something in this game is no exception. This is why I tend to take my time when building. Even though I plan most of my builds, I often find myself not being satisfied and end up destroying and rebuilding several times, as you'll see many times during this time-lapse, until I get something that I feel is top quality, or at least very acceptable. What you see is me using a combination of tricks and mods that make it easier to make good looking curved roads, such as precision engineering and sharp junction angles with road anarchy, and also move it. Later on during this time-lapse, you also see me using prop and tree anarchy to place decorations and details. I will now leave you to enjoy the rest of the time-lapse and will meet you at the end of it to show you the end result. Enjoy! hello again! I hope you've enjoyed the time-lapse, and without further ado, let me show you what I've done. So, as I've said in the time-lapse, the main purpose of this interchange is to connect the two main highways of this map. We've got the first highway, the one that comes from this connection over here, goes through here, through the river on the bridge, and eventually connects over there. Then we have another highway that comes from here, runs and cuts through the middle of our future city, leads to our agricultural town, and leaves the city. When you come through the south and you get over the river, you have the chance of getting out of the highway right here, where you'll have to go through this very long road that cuts through the middle of our city, or perhaps through the middle of our future city. And you'll have the chance to go right to get into this side of the highway, and to go left where you'll go on top of the highway and connect on this side. Likewise, if you come through the north, you'll have a off-ramp right here where you will go around in a loop. You make this gigantic loop that goes under the highway bridge, connects with the exact same road, and you'll have the same options. This is kind of a flaw, because if you're coming through here and you want to go to this highway in this direction, the only way you can get into this highway is if you come through here, and it's much more shorter to just make a off-ramp right here connecting this road and just make a small detour. So I'll probably do that in the future. It will be much more effective. If you come through this part of the map, you have to contour the lake, come here alongside the rail, where you'll get this off-ramp right here that will allow you to go exactly through the same road. When you come here, you have the chance to go right and connect to this highway and go north, or you can take a left and make this loop and eventually connect to this part of the highway and go south. As you can see, I've put these concrete blocks to make a structure or a base for the highway. I really like them, especially the graffiti part. I think I'm going to repeat that through other places of the highway, probably right here. But I don't know, I'll do it in the future. You saw me during the time-lapse putting these highway barriers, which took a long time to do. I'm not joking, it really took a long time. These are not props, so I could not use the prop line tool, so I had to place them one by one through the entire course of the highway, which took a really long time. I've also put these cones, as you've seen in the time-lapse, as well as use the bike decals to, make the continuation of the lines of the highway. And I've also put these barriers alongside all the highway. I'm still missing quite a few details, like highway signs and other kinds of details. Definitely not on the same level as Strictocer or Fluxrance, but still, I'm working my way. In this part of the city, I've also put some concrete blocks over here to, again, to make a structural basis for the highway to support this heavy structure. And I've also put some rocks and some trees. Just some details for decoration. I've also added this a train loop over here because I want to have some cargo stations near the coast of the river on this side. And I think this will be, I mean, I don't know how efficient this will be with the ton of cargo trains that are coming out of this way. So we'll wait and see. And that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy giving this video a like, a comment, or even subscribing to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. That's it, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye.